Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking aim at one of the absolute biggest, most stubborn fitness myths out there. For decades, the fitness industry has been feeding us a very specific story. If you want to turn skinny legs into strong, powerful, athletic legs, you've got to be under a heavy barbell. You need tons of iron, massive squat racks, and a super expensive facility. But what if I told you that entire concept is fundamentally flawed? Today, we are breaking down the ultimate bodyweight blueprint for stronger legs, relying entirely on the hard data of how muscle growth actually works. So let me ask you right off the bat, do you really need a gym? Are those giant, expensive leg press machines, the pricey monthly memberships, and that annoying commute to a crowded fitness center actually the secret to leg growth? Or have those things just kind of become comfortable excuses for why we aren't seeing the results we want? Keep that in the back of your mind as we go through this, because the answer is about to completely change how you view leg day. Okay, let's dive into Section 1, the heavy weight myth. We are rethinking leg day. Which brings us to Section 2, the hard truth about growth and honestly, why you might not be seeing the results you're after. You see, we often totally misunderstand why we fail to build muscle. Look at the real reasons people stay skinny or just hit a wall. It's not a lack of a gym pass. It's usually undertraining. Their home workouts are just way too easy, and they're never properly challenging their bodies. Now contrast that with what muscles actually need to grow. They require 3 very specific things: resistance, consistency, and pushing super close to fatigue. If you aren't doing those 3 things, it really doesn't matter if you have a state-of-the-art gym. You aren't going to grow. But if you are doing them, you can trigger massive growth right in your own living room. And that brings us to a fundamental biological principle you really need to understand. Muscle stress is the biological trigger for growth. Think about it like this. Your legs are literally blind. They have absolutely no idea where you are. They don't know if you're in a 5-star commercial gym, strapped into a $5,000 leg press, or if you're just standing in your bedroom in your pajamas. They don't recognize gym equipment. They only recognize resistance and fatigue. When you apply enough stress to the muscle, the body is basically forced to adapt and grow. That right there is the foundational secret of bodyweight training. All right, let's get into the good stuff with Section 3, the bodyweight leg blueprint. This is your at-home arsenal. But wait, before we look at the specific exercises, we absolutely have to talk about technique. Because doing a lazy bodyweight squat, yeah, that's exactly why people fail. First rule, you've got to do slow, controlled reps. No bouncing, no rushing. Second, go deep in every single movement to maximize your range of motion. And third, and this is absolutely crucial, you have to push until your legs feel the burn. You've got to really embrace that discomfort, slow your pace down, and ensure the muscle stays under tension long enough to reach that deep fatigue we just talked about. It's not just about getting through the reps, it's entirely about how you execute. Now, what's really interesting about this setup is the sheer simplicity of it all. This is your exact step-by-step workout blueprint, and it requires 0 equipment, nothing. You kick things off with 15 squats. Boom. Right after that, drop into 12 lunges per leg. Then, find a wall and hold a wall set for 30 to 60 seconds. Let me tell you, this is an incredible isometric hold that builds massive endurance and stress. From there, explode straight into 10 jump squats to build that raw power. And finally, you wrap up the circuit with 20 calf raises. Every single major muscle group in your lower body, your quads, glutes, hamstrings, calves, gets targeted and stressed right here in this one simple sequence. But hey, doing that circuit just once? Not gonna cut it. You've got to repeat that entire sequence for 3 to 4 rounds, keeping your rest periods really short. Why? Well, remember our magic biological trigger from earlier? Fatigue. The first round just wakes the muscles up. The second round challenges them. But the third and fourth rounds, man, that is where you hit that deep, burning fatigue that actually forces your body to say, okay, we need to build stronger legs to handle this kind of stress next time. Let's move on to Section 4, recovery, fuel, and sleep. The triad of growth. Because surviving the workout itself is only half the battle, right? Now you actually have to build those muscle fibers back up with 3 recovery essentials. First off, you've got to eat enough protein. The sources specifically point out highly accessible options like eggs, chicken, and milk. These are fantastic, basic building blocks for muscle repair. Second, please don't undereat your overall calories. You can't build a house without bricks, and you definitely can't build muscle if you're starving your body of energy. And third, you absolutely must prioritize sleep. In fact, I want to pause on this massive, undeniable number right here, 7 to 9. That is the number of hours of sleep you need for growth. If you're out there doing grueling jump squats and wall sits, and you're eating your chicken and eggs, but you're only sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night, you are literally robbing yourself of results. Your muscles don't actually grow while you're working out. They grow while you're fast asleep in bed, repairing all that stress you introduced during your workout. So, hit this number every single night. All right, let's tie all this information together into a really simple 4-step path. Step 1, ditch the gym excuse. You just don't need it. Step 2, push to the burn using slow, deep bodyweight movements across 3 to 4 rounds. Step 3, recover right with adequate protein, calories, and those 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And step 4, if you stay incredibly consistent with this simple formula, the source material guarantees you are going to see stronger, tighter, much more athletic legs in just a few weeks, all without ever stepping foot onto a commercial gym floor. To wrap things up, I want to leave you with this incredibly powerful quote directly from our source material today. It will feel hard, but that's exactly where growth starts. I absolutely love this because, well, it's honest. Bodyweight training isn't some magical, effortless shortcut. It requires real grit. When you're on that 3rd round of wall sits and your legs are literally shaking, yeah, it is going to feel very hard. But remember what we learned today. That discomfort is just the feeling of your muscles finding the fatigue they need to adapt. The results you want are waiting right on the other side of your comfort zone. So take this blueprint, apply it with consistency, and see what your body is truly capable of building. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.